Baby, All right, everybody, we got ourselves a little real treat today. We're going to be talking to Ben, and Ben is a manufacturer, and he started a whole manufacturing company in his basement, bro. How crazy is that? So let's bring Ben on. We tried to talk to Ben the other day. Hey, Ben, how you doing? We got you on now. We tried to talk to you last time, but we had technical issues again, going back to the fact that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So, so I'm glad we were able to get you on again here today to chit-chat about what you've been up to. So, Ben, welcome. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I mean, we're all just kind of learning as we go here, right? Like, it is not an easy thing to be learning these new skills on the fly, especially with, like you said, we were just talking beforehand about technology and technology issues. It's great when it works, and it's just god-awful when it doesn't.
That's the truth. And, you know, when tech moves so quickly that, you know, I mentioned to you that I have a 2017 laptop, and I was trying to do all these things on it, and I kept thinking, oh, it's only 3 years old, thinking it was 2020, but really it's, you know, 8 years old, going on 9. So, no, that thing could not video capture and stream at the same time. So that chewed up that interview, but it was a great interview. And for people who don't know, Ben has worked he has a background in manufacturing, and he started his own company doing small manufacturing out of his house. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Ben?
Yeah, sure. So pretty much straight out of high school, I was working at a CNC machining shop, working with mills and not so much with lathes, but we had them around, and making knives. And this is actually one of the knives that I help make. They are
very cool.
Tactical out the front. Some might call it a switchblade. Pennsylvania, these are legal.
Wow,
carry.
Very cool.
Yeah, I just had one laying on my desk. Hey, I can show what I make. But yeah, so I went from making stuff like that on my day job with CNC machines to coming home and making things like this. It started as just kind of a fun thing on the side. Where I was like, hey, let me just make this and take it to a Garden State Comic Fest to show some comic professionals and people who were in comic skate. People thought it was really cool, so it kind of kept me wanting to keep learning and keep moving forward. I was moving up in my job, so figured why not invest in some of this stuff myself and see if I get a little side hustle going. And what started as a fun random thing is slowly turned into more.
Yeah, now that's some of the machinery you got behind you right there, right? That's not just your YouTube setup, your YouTube stage, or
Yes, my glorious setup, my green screen. No, this is it's out in my garage. It's actually in my renter's basement. Poor guy. I try to keep it quiet and thickly padded. But yeah, I've got a CNC machine over here. It's a 4 foot by 4 foot bed, which is funny. I got the biggest, like, not the biggest. I got a large machine to then primarily be cutting 2.5 by 3.5 inch steel cards. And then actually over here-ish, I've got a paint booth. I've got a fiber laser for laser engraving steel. So yeah, just slowly growing. I've got at least a small CNC that's unhooked right now because it was more of the tabletop toy size, and a second laser that I need to build this weekend.
oh wow! So you're really really coming alive with a whole bunch of different tools that you got going on there, and that's pretty impressive. Now you did send me a couple of videos. Let's see if I can't bring some of those.
See if the technology works for us.
Oh yeah, well I mean I know the technology works, but I'm just I'm new at it. I'm terrible at it. So let me see if I can't kind of do this on the fly real quick and find us a couple of these videos and
Yeah, you're all good.
go with it. Here we got one right here of you doing, it looks like some pit cards, and you've got some engraving going on. And what kind of
that was a
what
so
kind
that was,
of cards are you using there?
all right, so that was a 304 stainless steel. So originally I was making it out of mild steel, which is a little bit softer. But the problem is it rusts, and I am in a garage bay, so it is not the driest of environments. So there would be times where life happens, a day would go by, I'd come out, and it would have a nice rusty patina all over the bare metal. So I upgraded to using the stainless steel instead, and still engraves great. And I thought, like I said, the correct laser to be able to engrave as well if I need higher detail, because some of the stuff you can't quite get the same results with the drag engraver that I was using. So
Yeah,
I like both of them, honestly, the way that they turn out.
yeah, like we see that one right here that I just kind of pulled up, and that one is really cool. I like that. That's awesome. That looks fantastic. And let me see if I can't pull up another one. You got all
So a
kinds
bunch of my videos end up being like 20 second, 10 seconds. It ends up being just like, hey, this is something neat I can throw over on X or Twitter,
No,
so
that's
people
fine.
can quickly see it and think it's interesting.
And this is you did this for the Omnis campaign, didn't you? With I forgot. I think it's Elliot Rodriguez. Is that who it is?
Yep, Elliot Rodriguez with Ominous. He was the first one to put me on as a tier, and Elliot, like, it's nuts. I was talking to him on one of his live streams, just chatting, and I asked him, like, how did you get funded so well? Because a lot of these first time creators putting out a crowdfunding campaign, I believe Ominous was his first. They stumble or they trip, and he made almost $5,000, which is great for a first time campaign. Still, I think he's still gonna end up eating a little bit of a loss, unfortunately, because that's just the way that this stuff goes. But I was like, dude, how did you get so well funded? And he's like, well, I've been here for a long time and made a lot of connections, which was awesome. But yeah, like with his cards, I ended up making 31 went to backers.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic. And then you obviously also did the pit cards. You did a whole bunch of those pit cards, and we just played that video. That's pretty. Those are awesome too. And I actually have one of the pit cards right here, and they turned out really, really well. I still have mine right here. It's in the nice protective covering. Got the pit logo on the back, and I really love the surface of them. The surface is fantastic, and it just glitters. It really does. It just glitters. And that's kind of like I saw you make this one the first time. I was like, "Whoa, that's awesome! I gotta. How do you get one of those?" And you said, go back it the first couple of the first day, I think it was.
Yeah,
Is that
the first day. Yeah, it was that also was like 33 cards, And I said, hey, if you back it, originally I said, hey, I'll make 10 or I'll make 5. And I said, if you back it the first day and you show me that you backed it and you're comfortable giving me your address, I'll ship it to you for free. And I actually had several people step up and say, hey, I'll pay for shipping, or here's some extra money to help with other people shipping, which was a godsend because there were a couple international people on there. And international shipping is not cheap. So
No.
I think my shipping total ended up being like, if I hadn't used Pirate Ship, which is a great website, but I think it would have been like $300.
Wow.
Instead, it was
Yeah.
still like 120, but people kind of came along and helped out with that.
Yeah, international shipping ain't cheap. I think I used to send a lot of stuff FedEx. Even the small FedEx like pouches were I think were like $40 or $50 just to
Hmm.
send samples back and forth. And bro, that could really sneak up and get you. And
Oh
a lot
yeah,
of
that's why I was like, I wasn't thinking about it that hard. But like, oh okay. Like originally, I thought, well, hey, I've sent cards before, like playing cards. So playing cards were a stamp in that same type of like a penny sleeve and that harder plastic sleeve into a envelope and mail it. And the post office was immediately like, nah, that's over the weight limit. Even though I may weighed it and it wasn't, but whatever.
yeah,
So instead that immediately went to, okay, so instead of me mailing it for cents, it's $4 at least.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, when you get 30 times 4, no, that adds up quick.
Yeah, and you're just doing this, trying to get a foothold or trying to get a little bit of a notoriety, let people know what you're capable of, and
Yeah,
people don't understand that. Like, that kind of stuff adds up quick.
it does. It really does. And that's even like the samples and stuff. A lot of times, at first I was like, well, I'll do them just for free. And then after all of the pit cards, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta ask for at least a couple bucks in shipping, please. Like,
Yeah, I gotta
this is painful quick.
gotta have it kind of self-sustaining a little bit. And the cars are fantastic. And if I came across like, these remind me of back in the day, back in the late '90s, early 2000s, maybe how they all had those holofoil cards. Those were the big things back then, and the different
Hmm.
prismatic kind of things they did. And I remember, at first you would see them for $5, then $10, then $15, then $25. And so to really get like one that's, I don't know how thick this is, the gauge wise, but it's pretty good and thick. Um,
It is a 30 thousandths thick of an inch here, and let's see, it's about twice the thickness of your thumbnail.
so it's about maybe I'd say, blackjack or poker cards thick. It's
Probably
a
right around there.
thick piece of metal, and like that I'd be if I went into a comic collector place and saw one of these, I'd expect $20 or whatever. I think I told you that, but for you to give them out, that's fucking awesome, and I hope more and more people start to take you up because I saw that you started doing like the Black Riding Hood. I saw you starting to do some other artwork too, which looks fantastic.
Yeah, like some of that is just it's I see stuff online and I go, oh man, I would like to make a card out of that, and I feel scummy going to someone and being like, here, check out what I do. Now, I don't like cold calls. I've gotten enough of those on X from 3D modelers anyhow. So, like, let me just make something cool and post it and see what people think. Hood one, um, usually black and white line art, thick lines, heavy blacks, works the best. But I'm like, this is so cool. Originally, I had emailed John because he was like, hey, yeah, email me. And I said, hey, can I get the line art for this cover? And I just never heard back from him. So my email probably got buried. That tends to happen with a lot of these bigger creators. I said, screw it. I'll just try it with the color and see if I can tweak things in to get the gradients down. And it came out pretty good. I ended up making like two iterations, and the second one was really good, which is the one that I sent you the video of.
Yeah, I'm showing it right now. It came out really well. It looks great, and I love how you positioned it on the card, where the top part of the card is all black, and then the bottom card is her lips and her nose, and under the veil, it looks really cool.
Yeah, and that's what like I mean that's how he originally had the cover. So that's what I like about this stuff is I'm taking machining, which is generally people think machining, they think like large moving parts, giant clumsy machines, and like my day job, we have incredibly tight tolerances. So I'm like, I know that you can be very delicate with this stuff. So now I'm just trying to get my machines tweaked to the point where I can hit that and do someone's art justice. Like I love the finish of the CNC cards because it has that little bit of like a chromatic aberration to it where it has different lights and colors. But then sometimes it starts to chip the paint a little too much on those really delicate lines. So then I have to switch over to the laser, which I still like the finish of. I like it whenever it has shininess. I don't like it whenever it's super dull. And
Right.
so I started like playing with that, trying to get so it's got some shine to it. It's not going to look the same because I'm not mechanically scratching and scraping the metal to give it that finish, but I can still make it look really good and better than how some of this stuff ends up being looking cheap or like clumsy.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And dude, it really looks good. And I know it's going to take a little bit of like a back and forth, but it seems like you've really hit in the sweet spot. Because I remember when you started, and how much you've really come a long way in a really short amount of time. Like I turned around and you're already doing like you got this Finbat one. I'm going to put up real quick.
Oh yeah, that one I just made literally last night
If it'll play, what the hell?
or 2 nights ago. I did Blood Realm last night.
Yeah, let me see if I can't pull that up again. For some reason it doesn't want to come up. Why don't
It's all
you
good.
come up?
Yeah, I actually hit up Apex. He had been saying that he's like, hey, I'd like to see one of mine in a metal cover, and everyone went, ooh, the Dan Lawless cover, the Dan Lawless cover. And I groaned internally because, like I said, there's like the way that Dan draws is beautiful, but he doesn't do heavy inking because he doesn't think that he's very good at inking. So it always ends up being very painterly gradients. And I'm like, this is what I struggle with.
Yeah.
So as soon as I did better on Black Riding Hood, I'm like, okay, let me take a swing at this. And I made that. It came out really well, and like the videos look pretty good, but it doesn't do the justice because with the CNC etched cards, like the light can catch it a little bit better, and you can see it on the video more. But with the laser, the light catches it, but you can't see it quite as well on the camera.
Let me try and try that Fim one.
Yeah, like that pit one was fiber lasered, so it's still shiny. It's still like that shiny metal, but it doesn't have the actual glint from it being mechanically removed. In a perfect world, I'd like to have it set up where I could laser it,
Yeah,
to remove as much of the paint as possible, so that it doesn't chip where it shouldn't, and then run the diamond etcher that I have from the CNC on top of it to then get the glint on it as well.
Oh wow, that's a great
So,
idea.
like,
That's a great idea. And like Transylvania Jack, he's in the chat, and he was saying that
PJ.
Dan's drawings, he is very painterly. Another thing I love about Dan is he draws, like, I love his faces because they're like real faces, where sometimes, with comic book artists, they're kind of just a collection of symbols, like they have the same eye all the time, or the same type of nose, or the same type of mouth. But, when you look at Dan's, you can actually see that it's different people. And so his art is fantastic. And I'm really glad that you're getting it on the cards. I don't know why it didn't work on the card when I tried to pull up the video. It's that technical issue and all that kind of stuff. But have you heard from Dan or anything like that? Has he seen it?
Actually, on Good Morning Comics Gate this morning with Katie did, she had Apex on, and then Dan came on, and I messaged Apex, and I'm like, you need to show that card now. Like, Dan's right here. You got to show it. So he showed it, and Dan's like, oh, yeah, this is Ben, right? Yeah, I have 2 of the cards he gave me at that convention. He goes, this looks better, though.
Yeah.
I want one of these. And I was like, I've come a long way since then, Dan.
No, yeah, that's the truth. You have come a long way, and that's awesome that people are starting to see that, because your work's great. You're not only a professional at work, but you're a professional at home, and you're knocking out of the park. And dude, that's so badass that you were able to get it on like Good Morning Comics Gate and all that kind of stuff, and get Dan to see it. I bet you were over the moon when that happened.
I was on the moon, yes. Yeah, no, it was that. So I was like, whenever I work, I usually don't catch live streams because of the kids and sleeping, or lack thereof because of the kids. So I don't catch a lot of the streams. So whenever people are doing stuff during the day or the mornings, I'm always happy because it makes my my workday go by faster. So like, I've been chatting with Katie. She has a pit card as well from back in the campaign. I keep giving her crap, but she hasn't shown it off yet. So she's like, I'm gonna do it one of these days. Like, I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool to get him to show that on the on there, and like it's also neat because between like okay, so I do the pit stuff first, which was I was like okay, it's a loss leader, but I was like okay, I'm gonna make this loss leader, I'm gonna put it out, see if people like it, make sure that I'm not just in my own little echo chamber of my head being like this is cool, right? I like this, I think it's cool, and people got it, they thought that they were awesome. I had 2 or 3 people message me and say, hey, I backed Pit day one because of the cards. I want one of those cards. I'm like, awesome. I'm adding value to like people's campaign. I'm bringing something to the table, not just a cheap throw in that like it'll just get junked and no one actually cares about. And then at least one guy over in the UK was like, I plan on like backing anything that you do because I want to collect these. I think they're awesome collector pieces. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Again, I have somebody that if he sees it, there's a chance that he might go back it because he wants that metal card. So again, I'm like, I want to be able to bring people that like my stuff over so they check out these cool comic books also and want to get more involved.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think it's really a great expansion to the offering, for the comic books because I can't tell you. It's like I look every time. It's always the same stretch goals, and when I see like a bookmark and I love stickers, but stickers and a couple other things, and you just don't see the kind of stuff that's like the metal cards and stuff like that. What else do you have? Do you have other things that you're thinking about doing, or?
Oh boy. Yes. So I'm in the talks with 3 different people right now about potentially doing stuff for their campaigns or campaigns when they come up. A lot of this, it's funny. Like I make these little samples or I do things for fun just to limit test the machine. And every time I'm in somebody's chat talking about stuff or just interacting or I make a card and they show it off, next thing I know, within a day or two, I get a couple people message me and go, hey, like let's talk about this. If I send you something, will you do it? And so I've been have to prioritize the paid work and making sure I get these ominous cards out for Elliot because I don't like. Unfortunately, I think some of the stuff got pushed further than he wanted, which is annoying because the post office tried to eat a package till I went and harassed them.
Yeah, that happens. I've had that happen.
Oh, I'm like, listen, guys, I sent 30 cards out in a package. It was £3. How did you lose it?
Yeah, where
and
is
then
it?
Magically an hour. This was 3 days of it setting where they said that they never got it at my post office. An hour or a couple hours after I left, they were like, it was originally they're like, oh well, I can tell you it's not here. I'm like, okay, cool. And then a couple hours after I left to check the tracking, they're like, oh, we found it and it's been moved along. I'm like, uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, it was setting somewhere and you guys forgot. Cool.
Yeah, it fell behind the candy bar machine or whatever, right?
Yeah, but yeah, so it's more cards. I'm actually it's kind of cool. I'm getting people who like the CNC and laser engraving stuff that I'm posting, and a lot of them. There's an odd amount of people here that have machining and laser backgrounds that will message me and be like, "This is so cool. I'm a machinist in my day job." I'm like, "Oh, okay, neat." But then they'll hit me up and be like, "Hey, here's this thing that I'm seeing take off online or in these groups that I'm in. You should do something for this too." And I'm like, "Okay, let me check into that." Like, there was some like. They're physical business cards, but they have a digital aspect where, like, if you scan them with your phone, it'll bring up all of your links or your website and stuff. And they're very plain. And if you want them customized and made out of metal, they end up being like $75 a piece.
Damn.
And but you could buy like a plastic one for like $10 from the same company. And somebody reached out to me and they're like, "Think you could get a thin metal blank and just etch it and be like, here, double-sided tape, stick it to it." And I'm like, a little bit more finesse than that. Yeah, we could do that. Like, we can make it add on to someone else's product and be like,
and we'll do it for $60, right?
Yeah, but I can make it cheaper. I can like problem solve.
Yeah, there you go. That's awesome. Now, what else are you thinking about? Because I remember you said you had mentioned that perhaps you were going to do like poster size, or are you still thinking about that, or is that a no-go?
I have them. I have yet to do it.
Okay.
So I have one painted sitting on the laser because my laser bed is huge. It's like 1.5 feet by probably 3
Holy
feet.
Shit! Wow.
And it's big. So I like to hunt eBay for bargains. And sometimes you get things that you don't expect. So they're like, here's this laser. I'm just mostly interested in selling the module. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take the module and I'll find a bed. And I got all this crap with it. I'm like, there's 2 lasers here and one builds into a giant one. Okay.
It
I'm like,
reminds
this
me.
works.
It reminds me of Pinky and the Brain taking over the world. So you're gonna do like a big old sign. Like, what are you making?
So it's 11 by 17. I think I have 10 blanks for it right now.
Okay.
I have I've got one painted. It's just I've been so busy doing all these other ones for people that I have yet to actually set down and get it tweaked in and get it running. I was just gonna try making like a little sign or make a poster sized one and see how that turned out. And if I can get it repeatably looking good, then I was gonna see if people would be interested in that as well.
Wow. Now, when you say you paint it, what does that mean? Do you get like a raw piece of metal and then you put paint on it, black, or what are you talking about? Help me
So
out.
these are actually the aluminum blanks, but so I'll get like just a bare blank metal. It's just the raw stock. It's got burrs on it, and then usually I'll sandblast it,
Oh
or
wow! So it's
like hand sand it.
so it's like a big process. Then it's not like they show up all
It's
nice and neat.
multi-step.
Yeah, not nice and
Yeah.
neat at your studio. You got to take the
No.
raw metal and transform it. Okay.
And then so like this is a stainless one that I went. I love my workplace. They have like sandblasters that they're like, hey, you're on break. Yeah, go ahead. And so I'll sandblast a bunch up, and then I'll paint them. So this one's a two-tone
Wow, that looks
because
nice.
I'm gonna try practicing. It's just red and black. I'm gonna try a design for a guy because I'm gonna end up lasering or engraving the backs of some cards that he sent me that were printed on already.
Okay.
Which I'm also looking into. There's so many things I'm looking into. It's not even
Bro,
funny. Um,
it, sa-
so
it sounds like you got a full-time job as your side hustle.
kind of basically, I leave work working on CNC machines and using their laser, and come home and work on my CNC and my laser. And primarily right now is I set it up before I go to bed, and I hit start, and I go to bed. And then I come out the next morning, I unload, look at how everything is. If I have to tweak something, so be it. If not, I reload it and I hit start, and then I go to work.
Bro, do you ever get nervous, like hitting start and going to bed and hoping
Yes.
it turns out? You're like, oh my God.
Very much so. The CNC has been generally pretty good. It did build up a little bit of just like junk on the ball screws that run it. And at one point, it decided to power bomb the $60 tool into a metal blank and blow up the tool. So
Oh,
I
man.
had to then say, I was like, oh, cool. Now I have to spend $60 on a tool.
Yeah.
And the laser, it's metal on metal. So it's not going to catch anything on fire. But so I'm like, it's for a while that I was getting pissed off because I would home the machine. Whenever I say home the machine, is the machine needs to know where it is. So like whenever I use a software, it's just telling it, hey, go to these coordinates. The coordinates are just hanging in space. So I'll dial things in, know where I'll know where my positions are, and then I'll tell the machine, hey, you're here. Now you know you need to go 2 inches up and 3 inches over and make a square or whatever. And it kept losing its home. So I'd set up 9 cards, and I'm like, cool, 9 cards. It's a third of my entire order. Set them up, hit start. Everything looks good. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. Only to come back and find out that it's slightly off center.
Oh,
See how there's a black bar there
yeah,
on the very edge towards my head?
yeah,
That's not supposed to be there.
yeah.
So, and it's like, okay, so I end up with 9 cards that are like that, or it's got a black bar at the bottom, or something that's clearly not right. And I'm like, cool. So now I have nine cards wasted and a night wasted. So now I have to go back and futz with it, get everything. And usually those switches, what they come into contact with is like a metal plate or something very solid. And all that it was coming into contact with was a small bolt and a loosely hanging nut.
Wow.
So if the nut turned at all and it touched it, it would trigger it.
It would change it.
Or if it rolled. And so I took a piece of plastic and stuck on it and snugged it tight so it's coming up against a hard, flat surface so it doesn't lose home anymore. That was driving me batty.
Now, do you think if you didn't have like a background in CNC that this would be like way harder? Because to me, it sounds like there's a lot of moving parts here.
Yes and no.
Okay.
So just like with anything, right? Like you're a far better artist than I am. You know that it takes work to put into it. You know that it takes skill and practice, but you don't fully always like realize like how far of a chasm there is from someone starting to where you are now. Because all you're going to see primarily is your own flaws and where you can improve. Um, that said, the people that come in to work at my current day job sometimes are like Walmart greeter status. So
Oh,
it's depending on what you're trying to do, it can be difficult. Or where you're at. Like my CNC, I said I've been doing this for 11 years as a full-time job. Um, my
yeah. You.
CNC, I bought one that was considered to be like a beginner-friendly machine, where they're like, "Hey, we made it as easy as possible for you to feel good about hitting go," and I appreciate that. I thought about getting a more complex machine, but I'm like, it's a machine. I can make it do just about anything I want it to do. Why would I add more learning curves or potential stumbling blocks by having a finicky software that might be able to do more, but I'm never going to get to use because it stresses me out?
Yeah. Here's your
Yeah, so this
laser
is
from your
yeah, that's the
job,
laser at my work.
and I'm gonna show the CNC machine because you got you. It's heavy duty. The stuff that you're doing is really heavy duty. Um, at
So
work.
I have the actual YouTube muted. So yeah, do you have the volume or the audio on that as well or no?
I think there might be a little bit of audio. I can't
So I
really.
can explain what's going on here and why I think that is interesting. Um,
Yeah, there's a little bit of audio on there. I'm gonna turn it down though. It's turned down so it doesn't overwhelm you. But go ahead, you can explain.
all right. So like how that CNC is, that's a Haas and it is a three or yeah, it's a three axis. So you've got your X, which is left to right, your Y, which is forward and away, like towards you and away, and then your Z, which is up and down. That's kind of how my laser's set up, where it's called a gantry style. So the
Uh
laser's
huh.
over top and it moves where it needs to go.
Yeah.
My CNC is the same way. The laser at my work is um, a Galvo laser, which the laser head itself does not move. It's got a big old, looks like a camera lens on it, but you can like in that video, you can see how there's multiple pieces and it's going down a line, running all these different like laser etches on them.
Okay.
And the Galvo laser is controlled by mirrors inside of it on motors that will bounce the laser to where it needs to go to hit all these pieces. Like, I just find it very interesting that we have the technology to do this type of thing.
Bro, that's crazy. And so you got some pretty heavy duty machines that you work on in your day job, and then you come home and you're. Are these like easier for you at home? I mean, obviously they're like far more simpler, or are they just different types of problems?
Different types of problems to some extent, but like also, like you said, it's like okay, so like that Haas CNC is six figures. My CNC 5,000. Like still a lot for me, but
Yeah.
it's a fraction of the price. Um, a lot of the CNC stuff that we do at my work is it's what they call 3D milling. And 3D milling is the tool is like making a lot more radiuses and being told to go up and down over top of something, and
Okay.
instead of just it being shaped like I don't know, like a C or something, right? And just carving that in along an edge, it is now making a bunch of little passes to have a gradient to it.
Okay.
And those lines of code, each one time it makes a little step over to make something round, it's another line of code. What I'm primarily doing with the only thing I'm doing with my etcher is 2D milling, where it just comes down and it does what it needs to do, and then it goes away. um, so like it's different, but also like, and this is what I had expected is as I moved up at work, I was like, well, why not get my own stuff so I can have my own little side business. Um, Also, it's helped me some at my day job. So over the weekend, one of our other intrepid crew leaders on a weekend crashed one of our like $500,000 machines to the point where an 800-pound, we call them a tombstone, but it's like a four-sided tall tower of steel that things get bolted to, was rocked back
Wow.
at an angle. And I was looking at it and we were messing with it, and I eventually got it recovered, and I got it to where it was pretty much back to normal, but still something wasn't quite right. And I'm like, hey, went to our lead programmer. I'm like, on my machines at home, I understand by comparison they're like flimsy compared to something like this. I'm like, but I can lose steps in a motor where something pushes back against that motor, it skips, so now it thinks that it's 10, 20, 30 thousandths of an inch further along than it actually is, which is, like I said, what leads to you losing that home and having something where it shouldn't be. I'm like, is that possible what's happened with this machine? And he's like, well, I haven't seen it in my 30 years of machining, but I guess it's possible. Well, guess what, motherfucker? It happened. We went through, the machine said it was at 0, and it was not. So
yeah.
So
So did he buy you like lunch or something like that? You're like, bro, I just,
no,
Otherwise, he would have never found it. He would have never figured that out.
Yeah. No, but I did survive a round of layoffs, so I guess I'll take that.
Oh, did the guy get laid off who like messed up the machine?
No.
So I guess it doesn't matter.
We should have, but no.
Yeah, he's still there. He's like, he's probably dating the boss's daughter or something, huh?
I don't know, man. Sometimes with this stuff it happens. But,
bro, and that's kind of why you want to start your own thing, right? Because the politics, it can be overwhelming, you know.
Well, it's tough. Like some of the stuff with the company that I don't always agree with, or the things that happen where it's like, okay, well, every year, do you want to have to go before someone and justify why you think that you deserve to make more money because you've been stepping up and doing more stuff? Or do I want to rely on myself and my marketing skills and like my gift of gab and my own talents to put something out and go, this is good, buy my thing, I know it's good, you'll see it's good, and then if I need more money, I can look at myself in the mirror and go, make more money. Like, I don't have to go, it hinge on, in some ways it hinges on more people, because it hinges on me reaching out to other people and being able to sell myself and sell what I'm making and my abilities, and it requires them to reciprocate and like buy, but it's also, it's less people because I'm just relying on me to do the best that I can now. I don't have to hope that I'm doing my best and then everyone else is doing their best so that we're not losing money somewhere else, which means no one gets a pay raise.
Yeah. I completely understand that. And, you know, one thing I learned being in corporate America is they never give you what you're worth. You have to take it, and most of the time by taking it, you have to switch jobs. So the only way you'll get a real pay increase is to go to a different company and then go around a couple different companies. And, you know, where I used to be, there used to be like, you know, basically 3 or 4 companies, and everybody would rotate, you know, could do a couple year tour and then rotate. And everybody worked at all 4 of those companies, like, you know, 2 or 3 times in a 20-year period.
Yeah.
And that's the only way. And the other option is to do what you're doing. What I'm doing is to start your own business and to try and get your own piece of the pie, basically.
Yeah, and that's like I understand the trepidation that might come with being an entrepreneur, where it's like it's easier on your mental health sometimes to just be like, I'll show up for 8 hours, I know what I'm doing, I'll eat and skate, or maybe I'll stay a little bit and work a little overtime, and then I got that bag. But I was talking to my wife, I'm like, okay, so understanding that what I'm getting paid, like working on my own thing, isn't pure profit. I have overhead because, like, hey, I'm buying my materials, I have to use my electricity, I have to buy my own tooling. Like, I understand that, but at the same time, like, if I was able to go on Etsy and make steel cards and sell them for $18 a piece, if I sold 9 cards, which is what I can do front and back, 9 cards on one machine, if I had both, I could double it right now a day. If I could sell that amount for $18 a piece 7 days a week, I would make $4 a paycheck more than I do right now.
Wow, that's impressive.
And so I'm like, it's actually not that far off. Like, that's crazy to say that could happen, and that is a big bar to say, hey, like, sell 9 of these a day. But with the power of the internet,
right?
And if you diversify enough to have like different communities that you're hitting, like I said, selling on something like Etsy or eBay or whatnot, whatever, I'm like, it's really not that far out of the imagination for like where I live.
No, you're 100% right. And I used to go to art walks and, set up a table and sell the art. And, I'd have to pay like 1,100 or $1,500 for a weekend just to set up. And, you have to have like, the conversion rate of people that walk by. You get maybe 1 to 3% of the people actually convert and purchase. And so, in order to break even, you're going to have it's going to have to be an art walk or whatever where there's at least like, 20,000 people for you to be able to make the money to break even.
Yeah,
And
which is not.
yeah, it's crazy. But my point being is that on the internet, that's completely possible. And
Mm-hmm.
whereas at the art walks and the stuff like that, like craft fairs or whatever, it's not possible anymore. And I remember listening to Vito. It was so funny because Vito was talking about his comic book, and he was saying, "Well, for Super Killer 2, I'll just go.
You can do a better impression than that.
Yeah, I'll just go settle it out. For Super Killer 2, I'll just go sell it out of the back of my car." And I remember Dick just laughing at him, thinking, "You think you can like make 6 figures by selling comic books out of the back of your car?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Just going to sell it to different comic book places." And I was just like,
No.
"Bro, this guy is smoking, bro." Having $100,000, that many people to come through is like the only way to do it's on the internet. So I think that it's really smart
Yeah.
for you to embrace the internet and come out. And that's why I really like Comicsgate, is because, they're kind of, being pioneers in this area and jumping out here and tackling this online marketing and sales of themselves.
Yeah, well, I mean, like we've heard a lot of these guys, like these like CG pros and some of the smaller guys, how they do at shows. Like a lot of them, unless you're a really really big name in a big uh, convention, it's basically just a paid trip. Like
Yeah.
you're covering enough to go there and hang out with your buddies, but you're not making enough to live off of. But like if you went to a larger convention, like you said, you get that foot traffic, you get the recognition of the name behind it. Like they probably do make money. Like if not, I don't know why else Billy Tucci would be going to New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con. But like on the flip side, Garden State is a lot smaller in New Jersey, and Ethan was like, it's really not worth it for me to go because I'm basically just covering me going to it with what I make versus I could just stay home and stream and sell sketches. And it's like that. I mean, hey, good point. I think also is Paul Fair with Project Neurosis on X. I think that's pretty much all he does is conventions, and that's how he makes his money for comic books. Is every weekend he's at some other convention or headed somewhere new. And I met him in at Garden State, and he's got a hell of a pitch. So he's fast, snappy, interesting, in, out, and he gets you like if he's one of those dudes where like if you make eye contact with him, he's sucking you in. So
Yeah.
it's
He's like one of them
but it's
barkers.
very interesting. I
He's
know,
like
yeah,
one-
see, like, but it's certain people like I have bought people's books and like his look really good. I still need to read it because pile of shame.
Yeah,
But,
that happens.
Like there are some people where it's like they'll just call you over. I'm like, you have a good pitch. I'll buy your book. Like,
Yeah, I'll give it a chance.
Good job.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. But I agree with you, man. Unless you have like that the push behind you, or you're like this guy right here you just talked about, have some sort of like really, I don't know, gift of gab, or like snake oil salesman, or have that ability, then it's overwhelming, and it can be a tremendous drain. And you can really put together, if you can get 1 or 2 of your clips to go viral, you can really bring the attention to yourself.
Mm-hmm. And that's sort of speaking of like virality, like with the CNC stuff on X, I've been kind of shocked at how many people are interested in it. Like we were talking right before we went live, you're like, yeah, like the baker doesn't think what he's doing is interesting, but people like to really see how things are made and like how the bread is made. I thought I was a weirdo for so many years because I would listen to audiobooks about like the video game industry, or it's been a problem, but I've been listening to the book about the Lego company.
Yeah.
Just like all of like the guts and the interesting history and what's behind it. And, like some people don't find it interesting. I think it's super interesting. And then finding more and more, it's like, oh no, here's people that have no idea what like CNC machining is, but they're really interested in anything that I post. Suddenly I get double digits in shares and people are commenting, and it's like, oh, there were 1,300 impressions with this little video you put up. I'm like, oh wow, okay, like that's a lot for me.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And James just said there's no amount of money that could get him to sit behind a table at a convention for 8 hours. But I think that what I really like doing is trying to put together a video and seeing how many impressions and how many engagements I can get. And I find that far more enticing than the idea of trying to go to like a Comic Con.
I think mentally we gamify things for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we set bars, we try to think of like metrics that we can beat. And that's where like same thing where I'm like, okay, well if I can sell stuff online and like get some traction either with I want to put out tiers and stretch goals for people in this space and their crowdfunding campaigns, but also I'm fully aware that I'll make even more money if I sell direct. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if I can do both, that would be perfect. And then like I was talking with my wife, I'm like, with the way that like the lasers and the CNC are, there's no rotating parts whenever I'm doing this with my CNC. So there's no real danger factor, especially if I like kept it away from people. I see no reason why if we wanted to go to a convention, I couldn't set up and be like, hey, come get your commission that you just paid like Walt Simonson to draw, get it made into a metal poster.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
stop on over, like let me take a good scan, take a good picture, put it in, and I'll get it started. And like I'm like, so there's even ways where I'm like, okay, how can I tackle this to do things differently? Like if I wanted to.
Yeah. No, completely. And that's I think that's the really exciting part is trying to be like a pioneer or Wild West and trying to get out there and trying to figure out how the hell do I take advantage of this? How do I get a hold of my life and direct it to where I want to go? And then that's why I was really impressed with what you're doing because we were chatting a couple of months ago, right before you even started any of this, and you're like, "Hey, this is what I'm going to do," and I'm like, "Oh, bro, look, And then
Yeah.
and then you actually did it. Like that's the difference between you and a lot of other people. Is like there's like 3 weeks went by, then you sent me a picture of a card that you made, and I'm like, "Oh, this looks awesome," And so then I was like, "Oh, I want to support this guy." He's actually putting his money where his mouth is, and he's learning and he's trying to do all this stuff. And then lo and behold, here you are, like I think it's been like 3 or 4 months maybe, and your cards are like head and shoulders above where they were, and you've already learned so much.
Well, that's what like I appreciate it, man. Like I really do. That's what we were talking on X. I'm like I really attribute a lot of the attention that I'm getting and like the success that I've had to like you for helping push me. And like we were talking through this stuff, and it kind of all started with your sketchbook creativity series, which I've fallen off of and need to jump back into. But like because it was like, oh yeah, like talking about creativity and like, hey, here's me drawing. Okay, well here's me drawing some stuff. Also, here's some CNC stuff. And then the amount of people who just kind of came out of nowhere and were like, this is cool because they started following me based on the sketch stuff that I was doing and tagging you and you were sharing. And then like Elliot Rodriguez giving me a chance to go on the campaign, and we made 30 cards together. Like that's awesome.
Well, that's what I want to stress. That is that creativity. The drawing is just kind of what I like to do, but creativity extends so much further. It could be like what you're doing with machines. It could be a mechanic. It could be a quilt. It could be jet engines. It could be learning even how to make magnets or bend metal. There's creativity is like it. It's an electric field that stretches through every media and every different industry that we work with, and so that's why I was so excited about what you were doing. And bro, one of my favorite shows ever was How It's Made. I used to turn that show. I'd come home, I'd get drunk or whatever. I'd turn that on. I'd just sit there for like 4 or 5 episodes, be like, oh, I gotta see.
Oh, that's how that gets made. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, how do they make the umbrella, or how do they make this, or how do they make that? I'm like,
Things
holy
you never thought you cared for about, and you're just like, wow, okay, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, then I'm just locked in on it, and I think that that's a little bit of an overflow into what you're doing, because every time you put up a video that you got the CNC machine or the laser, I'm like, holy shit, what's going on here? What let me look and try to figure this out. It's so interesting.
Yeah, that's like I gotta probably do a little bit of the laser type thing. How I did my CNC thread over on X, just kind of walking through a little bit of what I do because a lot of it is testing and getting all of your like your settings and getting everything so you can get the finish that you want. Is once you have that all dialed in, it's almost like, okay, well, let me just grab this and drop it in, and it's going to come out looking pretty good. You'll still need to tweak it a little bit more, but you're going to be 90% of the way there because you front loaded your work.
Yeah.
And like you'll still run into issues here and there, like I've had with a few of them where some of this gray scale looks way more black than gray. But yeah, it's like I find it all incredibly fascinating. And I'm just keep trying to get a little bit better. And now one of the issues that I'm having is that I have so many ideas of things I want to try making and so little time. And that's like I was talking to my wife. I'm like, I'm not making enough money to do this full time to start like dabbling a ton.
Yeah.
But it's I'm like I have the cards running over here, and then I'm like my brain starts going, well, what can I spin off with cards from? Because that's like a little bit different, but not completely out of left field. Like I've been putting all this time and effort into learning how to like CNC and laser engrave metal cards. So I don't want to suddenly be like, okay, but what if I made, I don't know, like a stone cube that I have to machine? Like that would be cool, but like no. So
Yeah.
it's how can I customize? How can I make something that's customized as, like I said, a business card or a, and this is where I start to get further into the weeds. And I get dangerous because there was a game probably whenever I was like 9, 10, 11, somewhere in there, where it was Wizards of the Coast, I think is who owned it originally, made a card game. So it was like you buy packs at Walmart, and they're made out of like credit card material. And they were like 4 or 5 in a pack, and they were partly die cut that you could punch out and construct little pirate ships.
Oh wow.
And they came with a little tiny 6-sided die that were probably about the size of like a modest earring. Like it was a little cube, and all of your measurements and all of like your cannon ranges and the movement was all based off of the sides of a credit card, and chaining that, like you get 2 long sides that you could move or 1 in a short side. And it was this whole strategy game that I still love that type of thing today. Well, that whole genre died, but now I'm sitting here going, okay, well, I'm already working on cards. Plastic isn't too far out of the realm. And I have ideas, and I'm surrounded by all these other people. I'm like, could I possibly make like a Hero Clicks type, like superhero fighting game that you could punch out like a Cyber Frog, and you could punch out some Vespis and have a game where he's fighting a Vespis? I'm like, where you could buy packs. I'm like, I don't know. So it's my brain just starts going.
That sounds wild. Huh. I remember when you and I were first talking, you were talking about actually a card game. Now I know it's not the same card game, but you were talking about maybe coming up with a card game or something like that. But
even that same idea, so they all spin off of each other. Where the card game also is like, okay, it's still cards, it's still a game. Like, there's no reason why you couldn't draw cards that interact or allow you to do things with the piece that you just built.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so it's all kinds of stuff.
Are you thinking about doing something like that, or how far away? Like, I don't know, is plastic that much different than working with metal, or what would you have to do?
Like, yes, but no. That's part of the reason why I said that there's another laser sitting in a box.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So like, lasers are weird, right? So with like my monkey brain, I'm like, oh, this cut metal, therefore cut anything. Like,
Yeah,
no,
that's what I'm thinking.
Like,
that's what I'm thinking.
It's all based off of light.
Okay.
So like the wattage and like the frequency of the light interacts with different materials differently. Okay. So like I can laser engrave a stainless steel card, but if I tried to do the plastic, it's probably just going to melt it. or it'll burst into flames. Either way.
But make sure you get that on video. Yeah.
Yeah. So I also have a roll of that type of plastic sitting in the corner. So it's not that far off for me to at least start prototyping. But
Yeah.
we'll see how far that gets. But yeah, so I've
But
got
you got to make money too. I get you. I get you.
correct. Yeah, and that's what also like this right here actually is a laser module for a diode style
Okay.
laser, which is usually like if you look up lasers, this is what you'll find. And that's usually it can be plastic. It can also do like MDF and wood. If you were buying like a laser for like a couple $100, it's probably going to be a diode. Then the next, like the other two are fiber, which is through a fiber optic cable, which is what I have. And CO2 lasers are completely encased, like they're just like a whole unit, a box with a lid that you put
Okay.
your stuff in. Everything seals up, and the CO2 and the diode can do plastic. I'm not sure which can do it better. I am still going to try it on my fiber laser, partially because it's what's set up, partially because I think it'll be funny.
Yeah, you got to get that video. You got to get that video for sure.
So, yeah. So I'm like, I got ideas, but like I said, it's the whole thing where I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do what I'm doing for the probably like majority of the time, and whenever I'm in between like orders, like right now I think I've got some Fembat stuff I have to do. I've got one for these Blue Shack comics over on X. Really like him. He's a good guy. So I got like 10 cards I got to make for him, and I got to finish up some other samples that have been getting kicked to the wayside because of paid work. But yeah, so that's I've got a few other things I need to clear out of my backlog, and then I can get to playing around with Oh yeah, I also have a big Cricut. I should probably try using that. I have a lot of machines in my office.
That's awesome. Now, like, okay, so what if like somebody's like out there and they're getting ready to do their campaign, and they're like, holy shit, I didn't know this guy could do these cards this good. How are they going to get a hold of you? Like, what if they want to? Can they say, hey Ben, can you do this for me, or how does that work? Are you open
Yeah,
to do? Are you open to do more?
Yeah, yes, totally. The only time that would probably ever change much is if it was like hey, I need 30 by the end of the week. Then it's like, okay, well, I probably just need like all hands just that.
Yeah.
But as of right now, like with everything I'm doing, like I said, everything is running well, and I can do 9 a day, which like I said does crank out quite a bit. And like I know that some of these guys have big campaigns. I have yet to have anybody pick me up on a giant campaign, but even if that were the case, if I know that it's coming, and that's what a lot of these will show you, hey, like there's 10 backers on this, there's 5 backers on that, I can just get it started. And so far, a lot of these folks have been saying like, hey, I want 10 for sure. I'm going to pay you for 10, but I'm also going to put you on this campaign, and I'll pay you for however many more we get. That's what I did with Elliot. Or at Based Art Department.
And
I'm still working up.
I already put your Twitter in the description, so you already put your contact for that in the description.
Yes, that's the best way. No Twitter. I do have email, but it's B Ament, which is my first initial last name, 80@outlook.com. So
Okay.
a lot of people have been sending me TIFF files, and I'm like, it doesn't need to be this detailed. I can do a JPEG. It's fine.
Yeah, big old 50 meg, 50 gig files. You're like,
Yeah,
holy
so
shit,
I'm like, this is great. I'm shrinking it to 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. It's
yeah,
not gonna help.
They're
Sorry.
sending a big old poster size file, and you're like, bro, I just need it this big. Come on, cut me some slack here.
Yeah, whenever I open it up in my program and it's showing that it's bigger than the bed of the laser, I'm like, no, no, it's just getting shrunk.
It takes my computer like 10 minutes just to open it, and I'm like, oh my god, come on. Yeah, so they can reach out to you there on Twitter or on your email. I'll have both of those down in the links. Is there anything else before we're getting ready to come up on the top of the hour? And it's been a great chat. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Super interesting, and we really want to get behind you. And you're a family guy. You're doing this on the side. You're really taking it serious, and you really deserve to grow. And I think you're a great fit for Comicsgate, man. You know, I really do.
I mean, it's just every day I'm trying to work on things and get them a little bit better. It's fun. Like I like making money. But it's
Yeah, for
fun whenever
sure.
whenever you're in between projects and you can just grab the art that you feel like doing and throw it on there and be like, hey, what can I do? Let me limit test. Let me take this full color piece that's painterly done and see can I make it translate to black and white? Can I maybe throw a splash of color in here?
Yeah.
Like I've got fluorescent paints. I've got glow in the dark. Like I've got other things I want to try, even just within the cards themselves, to see what I can do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is I remember you were talking about getting some of those fluorescent or some of the black light or whatever. What kinds of things like that are you exploring?
So I tried. This is with the whole light thing that was kind of funky. I tried taking one of the Deathmonger cards that I had and throwing just painter's tape over it. And I was like, okay, well, again, like monkey brain. If burn through metal, burn through tape. Wrong. Go through tape, still burn metal, just less well. So I got to play with that because there's also some other settings that I can mess with that will make something like deeply etch and like remove more material. So I got to try and play with that. With a diode, I'm pretty positive that I can, once I get that set up, I'll be able to just put painter's tape over top of it, burn it with a painter, like burn the painter's tape essentially off, and
Yeah.
have a like a stencil for painting
Okay.
onto.
Oh, that's
And then
pretty
I could
cool.
try, I could throw it under the main engraver, which I mean, adding steps, adding times I have to touch it, not always the best, but depending on what the result is, I'll take it.
Right. Right. Right.
So like if I can knock the tape out, then deeply etched, so you have a little bit more texture, just a little bit of where it's recessed, and then paint over top of fluorescent. I'm like that could be really really cool. And
Yeah.
then if
Yeah.
I get enough of those, then I hope to make a poster sized display, kind of like how my fixturing is, where there's pockets cut out, where you could
Okay.
set all these inside and just display all the cards at the same time.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that sounds awesome. Actually, you could take like a cyber frog or a salamandroid or whatever you want and have a little battle. Have some of them crazy Vespas or Lady Deathstrike or whatever. You could mix and match.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm like it would just be fun because some people have made the point that hey, the problem with cards is a lot of times you get put in a binder and never seen again. I'm like, you know what? You're not wrong. Um, so how can I make it so that you would want to display these? Like they are magnetic, so like you can magnetize it and stick it onto things. One of the pit cards, I saw one of our friends, Ches Grinner, put in the back of a phone case so that you could still see the card.
Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty cool. I saw that too. Yeah.
and then yeah, I'm like if I could like fluorescent paint it, and then you could have a little black light or glow in the dark, and be able to display all these in just one big, like almost like movie poster size, and have enough cards to fill it up. Like I feel like that could be visually very striking and be kind of a fun conversation piece.
Yeah, and it's really wild too when especially when we're talking about like what's going on with China and with the tariffs and all that kind of stuff, and how accessibility to the overseas market's going to be kind of cut off. A lot of people are going to try to look for domestic manufacturing solutions. This is you're possibly a solution to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, especially like I mean, I'm just one guy and I'm working out of my garage, so I don't have a ton of employees or anything. Um,
Oh, I saw your
but like,
mailing department. I saw
I
your
guess my
mailing
mailing
department.
department.
Yeah.
Yeah, putting the 3-year-old to work. She took it very seriously. She stacked them all face up the same direction. So I'm like, hey,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
job.
Yeah, you got
Eye
that
for
kid,
detail.
that good quality control there. I love it. Transylvania Jackie asked, "Have you done any of Ray Ray's drawings?" And I think I sent you a couple drawings, but I don't think we've done any of them yet. But
Yeah, those got shelved for the time being. But yeah,
yeah,
anytime you want something done, buddy, like you just hit me up.
yeah. No, I'm gonna work on right now. I'm working on a comic, the Kitty City comic, and when I'm gonna be doing that and launching that, and definitely gonna do
About to
some
be fun.
cards. Yeah, we're gonna do some cards for that, and it's kind of like I love the cats. It's like it has Mersh in it, and if you guys don't know Mersh, he's from ROTC and Nightwave Radio, and it has him trying to save a civilization of cats. Because he's a big rescue cat guy, and so it's going to be a lot of cats and stuff like that, and fun stuff. And the whole joke there, right, is that he rescues pussy, whether it's a stripper or whether it's a cat. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of what we're going for on that. But I'm definitely going to be doing some cards with Ben on that when we get going for sure. And
That'll be fun.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Every time I turn around, your cards are getting better and better, and you got a new gadget or a new laser or a new something like this, and I'm just like, what the hell's going on? You know what I'm saying? So I'm pumped about it.
Well, yeah, like I love seeing everybody's different art. Like it's kind of it's a little demoralizing whenever I have to tell someone like, "Hey, send me another one. Let me see what I can do with something different," because this one didn't quite turn out. But yeah, like your artwork would be very well suited for a card. I mean,
Well,
like,
and
it's
I
got
also,
very clean lines. It's got fun hatching and shading. Like it's not just like I don't know watercolor black and gray.
yeah, I got some ideas. Like I'm working on. I've been doing all those cartoons just for fun for so long, and
Wait, you
some
draw cartoons?
yeah. And some
Where
people
can we find them?
Let me see if I can see this real quick. I got a couple over here. I got some cartoons, and some people were like this is the latest one I did. Some people were coming up to me, and they want me to put it together in a book. So I think I might do that. And if I do that, we're gonna do some cards.
That'd be fun.
We're gonna do some Pirate Dick. One of my favorite characters. We're gonna do some
Fantastic character.
yeah, some Nightwave merch. Some Cat Daddy
Oh
merch.
hell nah!
Yeah, we're gonna do some Cat Daddy merch. We're gonna we'll do some Riley and Mint. We'll do some Chrissy Mayer. We'll do some of that good stuff. And just have fun with it. Because that's what it's all about. It's about having fun, getting some laughs in, and having some really cool stretch goals. And
Sure.
that's what I want to do. And before we wrap it up, Ben, is there anything else you wanna say or put out there?
I mean, just thanks for having me on, man. I am currently on one campaign that's kind of struggling right now, but it's the Fall of Man campaign on Find My Comic. I think it's Volume 1. And it's collecting 1 through 3 trade paperback. He's got one of the cards. I actually don't have it sitting in front of me. Or do I? I kind of do. You can't see it. This is a test that I had done on the an aluminum blank, so it wasn't painted.
That
I was
looks
just trying to get
awesome.
things centered up.
That
But,
looks awesome.
He's
That
got
looks
he's
rad.
up there for thank you for $12 for a card. No one's backed yet, but he hasn't been on very many shows. So I think it's just a lack of marketing and right now that's holding him back. But great looking project. Looks like a lot of fun. He hit me up pretty early on. So yeah, and then I'm in talks with a couple other people. Can't reveal anything yet, but it's been fun.
Of
And
course,
thank you for having me on, man.
you had to sign those hush
NDA.
agreements, right? Yeah, you had to
NDA,
sign them.
NDA.
You got to make an NDA card. Get out of NDA
Yes.
free or something like that. But, all right, Ben. Well, we want to support you, and I'm really excited about what you're doing. I'm really excited about your progress, even since the last time we talked. I'm gonna be using you in some of the stuff that I'm gonna be doing in the future. And I hope a lot more people reach out to you and to use you as well. A good old family guy, just working out of his basement, trying to make things happen for himself and his family. That's what America is all about. That's what Comic-Gate's all about. And thanks for coming on, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later. Thank you.